Thank you for joining us for another episode of Vine Panther Present. This is a joy video as we shall be discussing Welcome to Derry as we expand the It universe as created by Stephen King and various writers who have taken this character of Pennywise and kind of explained what could have happened in different venues. But like we're going to talk about the season one. What the next two seasons could be, some of the previous movies that you may have watched, including the miniseries from the 90s, and how it kind of all fits together, hopefully. But anyway, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. You can like on the video and comment on the video. Watch the video till the end. We got some Stephen King fans. We got some movie fans. So it should be a good discussion. So let's get to it.
Oh, wait. I got to do it now. Wait. This is going to be funny. Wait. You ready? I got to do it.
This is awesome. This is awesome. This is amazing. I love it.
It was psychological. It was emotional.
Extremely entertaining.
But as always, as we try to say here, as we said, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. And as we talk about this video, please like on the video and comment on the video, and we will get back to you as soon as possible.
The dancing clown.
All right, we're going to do this. We're going to start off with Chris. I know he's a big Stephen King fan and whatnot. So, and it's been a while since we had him on screen.
Since I said mess things up like I always do. It's been a while. Oh, I thought that was an invitation for me to sing.
No, not an invitation, Chris. And,
I thought. Oh, okay. I love that song. Okay.
I appreciate you.
No, all right. Well, to start off, let me say, rest in peace to James Ransom. He just passed away. I guess it just revealed today. Unfortunately, by the S word that you can't really say.
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah. So, so yeah, he was in chapter 2. He played Eddie in It chapter 2. He was also in The Wire, my all-time favorite show. So, I mean, that's where I remember him from, first and foremost, in season 2 of The Wire, from Baltimore, Maryland. You know what I mean? So, So anyway, but yeah, rest in peace to him. And also with my background, you'll see that I have Kathy Bates from Misery, because I also want to say rest in peace to Rob Reiner, who directed this is probably one of my favorite Stephen King adaptations that he created behind Shawshank Redemption. And then I would say after Shawshank Redemption, then I would say Misery. So Rob Reiner, he passed away the other week. So a couple of losses we had that had to deal with the Stephen King universe. But anyway, now I got that out the way. I'm sorry. What was there a question? I guess when you got put off first. I'm sorry.
Did you think about?
What do I think? I'm sorry. I apologize.
God
okay.
Damn.
I've been through a lot of stuff's been going on last week. Okay. All right. I freaking love this show. I thought this show was going to be good. I didn't think the show was going to be great, and it wound up being freaking awesome. So it exceeded my expectations. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm a big Stephen King fan. However, there's been a lot of adaptations and a lot of things that was even being placed on HBO that kind of failed, in my opinion. Like, The Last Salem's Lot movie that showed up on there, even though I guess you can argue HBO didn't do that. But this show was amazing. Andy Muschietti, who wrote and directed this show, he definitely redeemed himself from the Flash movie he just did. So, and he actually kind of did a better timeline / going back in time type of show than the Flash was, which we'll explore. But this is probably the first time I've ever saw someone who took a risk of taking something from Stephen King and just said, hey, look, you know what? Stephen King kind of wrote about this, but I'm about to expand the shit out of this. You know what I mean? Like he did with the Black Spot nightclub. What he did for Dick Harlan's character. You know what I mean? Like he's in It, the novel, just for a little bit. And that's only as far as just him saving the kids in the nightclub or whatever, when it brought up what happened or whatnot, and you found out there was this guy named Dick Harlan saved these kids because he used his power, he used The Shining to able to save these kids. But that was it. And the fact that they were able to throw him in there and throw in the stuff from Dr. Sleep as far as him putting the horrible stuff into boxes in there, right? And then also throwing in, even though it was more of a mention, Shawshank, you know what I mean, and just the prison. I feel like there was probably even other Easter eggs in there. I mean, at one point I thought maybe the Mist was kind of thrown in there towards the end. Overall, Andy Muschietti did a really good job with the show. I never thought for a prequel where one of the common complaints that people always have about prequels, including David here, is you already know what's going to happen, right? And and because it's a prequel. But here we have kids with about maybe I would say 95% of these kids, you don't know what the hell is going to happen, right? So when I heard about Teddy and his last name is Juris, I was like, oh, we know he's going to live because his last name is Juris. And then there's a kid named Stanley Juris, so he's clearly the father. That kid's dead. And next thing I know, I'm like, oh, he has a brother. Oh, snap. Never mind. You know what I mean? Like, oh no. So, and all these other kids have different last names and some of these, other than Mike or whatnot. So you don't know who's safe. You know what I mean? I do like even certain callbacks that they have, even for Mike, even with the whole fishing, the fishing issue when he gets dragged into the water by the scarred up version of his dad, and he said, "You'll burn too," which is an Easter egg because that's how he actually dies. That's how Will dies. Mike's father dies, like him and his mother. You know what I mean? So I thought that was an interesting Easter egg they threw in there, saying "You'll burn too," and I was like, "Oh crap, that's right," because Pennywise can see pretty much everything, but everything is linear with him, right? He lives in this plane where the past, present, and future is all right here. So he don't know when he knows he is birthed, he knows when he dies, but he just doesn't know like which comes first. He's the chicken or the egg. Unfortunately, he's stuck in this endless loop. You know what I mean? And I like what they kind of did with the whole lore of him, and especially if you're a big Dark Tower fan, was for Stephen King. There's multiple books of that. They explain the whole multi-universe of Stephen King and how time and space is all linear depending on where you're going as far as the extra the extra universe, or there's a term that they use, and that's where Pennywise is from, as well as Maturus, the giant turtle, which we hinted at in here, and we saw a lot of hints with the turtle, who's basically the brother of Pennywise, but he represents good. That's my only complaint, is I wish they actually had the turtle in it. You know what I mean? I'm assuming we probably might get that in the next seasons. But overall, the acting was great. I did catch what they did as far as you could tell that they were aged up after episode 4, because I guess there was a writer's strike.
They said a writer's strike. It was like 9 months, 8 or 9 months.
I'm like, damn, Veronica looks like a little bit older. And then they had me. I'm like, oh yeah, they did have to take like an 8-month break. So then now the kids, like even like Lily's face looked a little different. I was like, oh shit, this is like Stranger Things again. Like they're all getting aged up. You know what I mean? Rich's voice drops a little bit. His voice is still high, but it drops a little bit. I'm like, oh crap. You know what I mean? So, but overall, really, really good show. And shout out to them bringing, I forgot the lady's name at the end, who was in chapter 2, the older lady they brought back. They had her. She was like, 80? No, she was like 90 or 91 years old when they filmed it. And then after they filmed that scene that they showed at the very end of the season, she passed away 2 months later. So I thought that was a nice way of, in a weird way, they didn't even intend to kind of honor her, because that was the last thing she's ever did. 2 months after that, she passed away, and now she is the daughter of Bob Gray / Pennywise. So yeah. So great job, Andy. Good job.
Hey, Chris. Kim, what are your thoughts?
I love this show. I was so excited each and every time it would come on. I was like, "Oh, I gotta watch this." It's like it was an event for me. So now I do understand. There's a lot of people who are like, "Oh, kids are dying. You shouldn't enjoy this." It is so well done that you know what I'm saying. Like, I know this is a show. Okay, think of it. It's a show, and it's really entertaining. These kids are talented. They did a phenomenal job. Richie, oh my God, he had my heart. That boy can act. And then behind the scenes, because I always watch that kind of stuff, he was dancing and he was doing the merengue, you know, like because he's Latino. And oh my God, he was so cute. And what is the other look? The other girl, Marge?
Ronnie,
No, not Ronnie.
Marge with the eye
Marge?
patch. You mean?
No, with the
Marge?
eye patch.
Yeah, Marge. Yeah,
Marge.
Yeah.
Loved her. Loved her. I think she did an interview and she's so smart for her age. Like she's very, very articulate, and so is he. He is too. I loved all these kids. Ronnie, Will, all of them. They were just wonderful talents. And I especially loved Pennywise. I thought, you know, that Skarsgård did a phenomenal job. And we know he's from like acting royalty. They don't talk about his family as much as they talk about the Sheens, but this guy comes from, he's got like a ton of brothers like that all act, and his dad, right? And his dad, that I've seen naked at least 3 times in a movie, and that wasn't necessarily something I wanted to see. But anywho, he's a really good actor also. So I had a good time. I'm loving it. I can't wait till the next one comes out. I think the writer, the brother and sister writing duo, phenomenal job. They did a really good job, and all the other writers too. But yeah, I loved it. I thought I recommend this to anyone who loves horror. Just watch it. And I mean, you don't have to watch. Actually, you don't even have to like horror. You just have to like Stephen King, like just like, you know, Stephen King. It was great. I loved it. So yeah.
And we got I love the show. No lie, Pennywise got me off guard. He went easy on the loser club. I think I saw a clue that I saw a post that said he must have been on easy mode in previous iterations and especially looking at what he did to the kids in the first episode.
I mean, he
Jamani,
was biting people's heads off and stuff. Like he was horrible in the series. Like I didn't think, to be honest with you, I didn't think that they were going to be as graphic because it's on, you know, like like TV basically. Like it's not a movie, it's a he did some horrible stuff. But this another thing too, the cinematography was fabulous. It was just like what Chris was saying about The Mist. They did talk to the director, and he said it wasn't The Mist, but of course we know about The Mist in Derry and what it entails and what it does to the people. And of course, that's why he put it in there, because, you know, it changes everything, right? Changes their mind and it clouds their judgment, right? So that's why he put it in there. But he had a lot of Easter eggs. Like, oh my gosh, there's people who are recapping this thing over and over and over, and they keep finding new Easter eggs, which is phenomenal, you know? So yeah.
All right, come on, Giovanni. What did you think?
Yeah, as someone who knew nothing about it when I first started watching the series, it was weird, especially that first episode. I still don't know. Dots still have not connected as far as what happened in that first episode with like the it being born in the car and all that stuff. That was real weird. But yeah,
we can explain that one to you. He wasn't actually born in the car, but we'll let you know what's going on.
Yeah. So yeah, like I guess, you know, having gone back and watched the other you know, movies and TV series that it comes from, yeah, I have a little bit more foundation. But yeah, I thought that it was a nice look back in the 60s. I don't think it was necessarily accurate to the time, but you know, that's another story. But yeah, it was a good story as a whole. I guess it was, when you get to the end, it's just basically the Margie and Rich love story, which came out of nowhere. But yeah, all right.
Well, he sacrificed himself. So I agree. Hold on. Then we all can answer the question real quick. DeMarcus, thanks for being here. Who is more dangerous, Pennywise or Candyman?
Pennywise.
Pennywise.
Candyman's hashtag should just be like, leave me the fuck alone, or keep your name out your fucking mouth. That's literally what it is for Candyman. And
right.
That's it.
That's it.
Pennywise is just you just wake up and
kids. He's eating people. Like
yeah. You don't.
Rolls of teeth.
The best part was, do I have face on my face?
Yeah, oh, that was funny.
That was the best line of the whole series.
Yeah.
So it was not to be redundant then. I would say what was fantastic to me was the fact that they answered the question, why is it that he don't leave Derry? Is there a particular reason why he just don't just travel to the next city? He can't. Like, the Native Americans trapped him in that area, and that makes sense if you bother to ask the question, right? So of all the iterations I've seen of him, I love the fact that they tried to be like, no, like, this is a prison, like, so, and the Native Americans being here before all the rest of us, they're like, we're trying to keep it's people safe to the best of our ability, what I'm saying, but don't go in there. But then the the pilgrims come and say, fuck all that. Like, we're moving over there. But we tried, right? We tried to tell them, but they didn't want to listen. And I was like, I thought that was cool. So I thought episode 4 for an origin story of such a iconic creature was awesome. And I was like, and I really appreciate it. I didn't, to Chris's point, and I'm gonna be positive before I get into what could have been better. I was like, this is a prequel. Like, Pennywise is gonna be all right because like he got other people to kill, but they still gave you a story. And I usually say, don't make a TV show out of a good movie idea. And there was an awesome TV show. The journey was the story. You have to understand the characters and how to go from point A to point B, and everything comes together. And Pennywise didn't take his usual form that we see him until episode 5, but he was there from the beginning. But it's like, hey guys, I mean, for those who've been waiting for me, we binged it after episode 5. Because I was like, I'm not going to watch this thing week to week. Like, I need this thing to kind of flush out. So we happened to start in episode 5. So see the final episode for us, for him to be like, ha ha, and come out of Maddie's head. I was like, all right, now let's get to it. But he was always there. Like, he was always there and moving around. And I thought that was awesome. And for someone who didn't read the books, but I did slightly remember the 1990 miniseries. And I was scared shitless when I watched it because I was a kid. And I was like, Pennywise ain't no joke. But then watching this and then watching 1990, I was like, Pennywise was a joke. but it was for the time. And it was ABC, and you can't eat kids' heads on a regular basis, right? Like, to your point, Kim, I think you were probably thinking of ABC 1990 and was like, okay, it will be somewhere PG-13.
Not at all, sir. Not at all. It was massive. I was like, oh my God.
This is HBO.
This is HBO. Yeah.
You're paying for the quality.
That's
also the ending was the when they trapped him again, right?
Yeah.
And they and the light went up, and it was like, and it was like I was like, this is cinema quality. Like this, when Chris is like, you want stuff on HBO. I'm like, this is why you want it on HBO, because they're gonna spend that damn money and be like, I was like,
yeah. The cinematography was great. I felt like, remember the part where they were like, where the kids were trying to put that last piece into the tree, and then they showed Pennywise was kind of was like behind them, but the angle of it was so well done, because he was like running, but he was nowhere near them, but the way that it looked, and he was a giant. He was huge. Well, the young man who plays him, I think he's like, what, 6'6" or something? He's a very tall young man. And he looked even taller. He looked like 8 feet tall. The way they showed him, it was so well done. That cinematography was awesome. It was good. The kids were awesome. Like, they were even talking about the fact that they were on real ice and they were slipping. They were literally slipping. They had also, when they were trying to put the that piece of the spacecraft, when they were trying to put it in the tree, they actually had something that was holding it, and it was making it harder for them to really put it doim. And I thought that was awesome, that he really made you see that they were struggling to do it, and it was real. And him and his sister did a great job. They did. fabulous. Loved it. Yeah.
I do have a critique about that scene, but I don't know if that was done on purpose though. My critique I had about that scene is Pennywise, dude. Like you wait, like those wings that came out. You wait till the end to just start being like, oh shoot, let me go fast. Now,
I can fly.
Now, I don't know because here's the because then there's also the whole thing about the turtle and him being the opposite of the turtle, and then the whole thing with the tortoise and the hare. And one of the things he always hated about maturing the turtle is that he looked at because the turtle, and I don't even know how they would even put this in the It series or whatever, but basically the turtle had a stomach ache, and he like threw up, and when he threw up, he gave birth to the universe. Okay, that's what Stephen King wrote. Anyway, he gave a universe, and then when he did that, all of a sudden he retreated back into a shell. Pennywise saw this, and then just looked at him like, "You are a lazy, slow-looking fool." Like just looked at him like, ugh, like you know what I mean. So, and then that's that was his way of kind of being able to go in right when the tortoise was essentially like kind of hibernating. So I don't know, maybe, and I'm just trying to theorize myself, maybe that scene was like with him dancing around and messing around and letting his head get shot off with the whole ping pong like head popping out. Maybe he was doing the whole tortoise and the hare thing where he's just like dancing around, you know what I mean? But the whole time I'm thinking like, bruh, you could take on the entire world. What like why? No, just go up to him, like whatever. You let them do the newest Ghostbusters thing with Reitman, like the ghost of Reitman coming through, and then just you let a dead kid flip you off just for them to help you. To just let help. Like that's on you, bro.
That's on you, bro.
That's on you, bro. Now the kid's about to mess you up. Their kid's about to mess you up now.
So let's get into that. So his transformations again, awesome, because this is like halfway during the episode, right? So I was like, oh, there's more to this story. Like I thought the whole episode was just going to be them beating Pennywise and some hugs and then move on. They're like, no. We got to set up like the prequels and stuff, and like we got to try to connect to the chapter 1 and stuff. So I was like, okay, but like Pennywise got taken care of early, relatively, and now we got more stuff to deal with. And I was like, and I thought that was also cool. So the ghost of Richie, because I've seen a lot of Richie, and I'm like, that's beautiful, and I appreciate it. But Pennywise didn't kill Richie, right? Like
no, he didn't. No.
So I was like, who did he? I had to go back. Teddy, Phil, and Susie got ripped apart in like episode 1, and Maddie.
No, wait. What about it should have been the Native American guy that he killed that Dick went into his head or whatever. What about him?
Oh, so then we can do the black woman that he ate at the black spot. I'm saying, but if we're just gonna do the children, I'm just saying just to keep it to the children. There's at least 3 or 4 kids that we saw, and Lily saw more than anything else. Lily saw him kill these kids, which kind of like started this whole thing. And I was like, it would have been nice if like if they're gonna bring the kids or coming back for their comeuppance or something, like I'm like, I would have wanted to see those kids. I think people kind of forgot.
No, Richie. Well, with Richie, he did. The reason why Richie wasn't got by Pennywise is because Richie didn't fear Pennywise. He didn't fear him. He was like, "Fuck you!" Like he didn't fear it, and he saved Marge. Right? He was a hero. He sat there. He saved her from the fire, and he wasn't afraid of Pennywise. You had usually the time that Pennywise gets you is the fear because your meat tastes better, and if you're not afraid of him, he doesn't mess with you. That's what he loves. He thrives on fear.
Well, I'm not saying he could not have. Well, so my point is not that he could not have killed Richie, or Richie obviously sacrificed himself to save Marge. I'm just saying they like I said, they built that story between the two, and they wanted to show you that Richie again would die for Marge, and which is why maybe Marge named her son after Richie, as we will see later on. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, and then so's the poster, and then we'll talk about that. But I'm saying if we're doing the children thing, like okay, like the people who died at somehow someone hands the Pennywise and they're coming back as I took the scene, like he's coming back again. Fuck you, past death, we can beat you. there's other kids that could have been a part of that, should have been a part of that actually were victims. And I thought,
Yeah,
you
but
know, to
those
be
kids
there.
they had fear though. Those kids died because of fear. They feared Pennywise. That's why they couldn't have come back and helped.
Yeah, I figured that was kind of like their soul was kind of taken away once, once
exactly.
Pennywise, so they wouldn't have a soul to be able to come back. That's you know
it.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So you know,
All right.
you know, not to mention, I mean, the other kids didn't even really Teddy and Lily. I mean, not Lily. Teddy and what was the other kid that was with Teddy?
Teddy, Phil, and Susie.
Phil. Teddy and Phil didn't even really know Mike. I mean, not Mike, Will or whatever. So I don't know. I mean, it would have also been kind of out of place a little bit, seeing how we only seen him from one episode. Meanwhile, the whole world has fallen off of Rich. You know what I mean? No, I know. I'm just saying. No, let's be real. It is a little the whole Disney Plus Grogu thing. It is a Grogu thing. It's Rich is going to be a Funko bobblehead. You know what I mean? I don't think Susie will be. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
I saw online where somebody got a tattoo of Rich after episode 7.
Why?
Yeah, because he's a knight. He's
he is. I mean, the show was fantastic.
He's the modern day Leonardo DiCaprio in Titanic.
Yeah. I give you that. Also, I did love someone did a meme of La Bamba of his brother at the end of the movie. Like his brother's like Richard, and then like it's just that, and I was like so well placed, like so well placed for this. But that was, I mean, for that, I was like, I felt like
you wanted all the kids to come,
or or they.
But then I guess the problem you run into that is if you do that, then I guess all the other kid victims from the other 27 years, they will all like, you know what I mean? Then it basically will be thousands of kids coming in to help. You know.
All right, bro. Then you're going down the slippery slope thing. Let's just chalk it up to Richie got built up. So he could go, or he could have just been a victim of Pennywise. It's also not that hard. If he's instead of killing that black woman in the black spot, right? He could have killed Richie. Richie could have sacrificed himself to be like, get out of here, Marge, and then that could have been a thing. Again, if this is a,
but then Pennywise wouldn't be able to kill him because if he doesn't fear him, then he's
been a lot of people, bro. Like I mean, fear makes it better, but he's eaten quite a few people, and it would
hasn't feared him. Who has Pennywise killed that has not feared him?
Nobody.
No one. Name one.
It's
name the time that Richie faced Pennywise alive and wasn't scared. Because I don't remember that scene. When he didn't face Pennywise in the black spot. He was too busy eating off the black woman. So let's not act like he stood up.
So I guess my point is, then why would he be afraid of him then?
That's what I'm saying. That's not an excuse to be like he didn't lose his soul because he wasn't afraid. He didn't have the opportunity to be afraid. It wasn't like
so you're saying they should have so you're saying like they should have maybe added a scene where he was afraid of him. So no, just
not. If we're going down the road of like his no fear is what allowed him to come back, then give me a scene where we show that. Yeah. Like that's what I'm saying. That's all.
No, I don't disagree with this whole fear thing because his daughter wasn't scared of him, and he opened up his mouth on her. And Will wasn't scared, and he opened his mouth.
He didn't kill his daughter. He
didn't kill his daughter. Dead spots. They got the dead spots. So to that point, so he didn't actually kill them. Also,
he didn't kill them, but I'm saying he could have done the same thing if he was whoever confronts him. They could be in the void or whatever.
Right. Yeah. But he can do that to anyone, whether you feel him or not. Just like Mike's father. Mike's father definitely didn't scare him, and then what he just did the whole mouth thing to him too.
Leroy.
So it doesn't. So he can do that to anyone, whether you fear him or not. He just can't like go and consume you. He just can't consume you. He can just put you in a pause. Boom, your eyes just turn gray. You know what I mean?
So and I will go chapter 2. Chapter 2. I don't remember her name. A little girl was at the baseball game. She was at the baseball game, and he lured her in behind the thing, and she was not scared because she saw a clown, and they talked a little bit, and then he just got close enough to be like, boom. Also,
yeah, I didn't like that Andy did that because first off, she wasn't even in the book, the novel. You know what I mean? For one, mm-hmm. I don't know why I don't know. I don't know why Andy wrote that in there because that didn't.
I think it was Ronnie. Ronnie wasn't in the book either.
Yeah.
I think he wanted the
characters that weren't in the book.
I think he wanted a Georgie. I think he wanted, because Georgie was always like, "Can I get the like?" I think he wanted that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like to kind of grab you in chapter 2. I think because it was very similar. You know, children, very small children, almost innocent, and I was like not really scared of Penny until your arm gets bitten off. Then all of a sudden you're like, "Oh shit!" You know what I'm saying? So I think he was going for that kind of thing, but the death never really went anywhere. But let's get to it. So Ronnie and Lily are up front, you know, as opposed to like like Will, who comes a little bit later. You know what I'm saying? So what do you think of like Lily's story and the connection, particularly with her dad and that kind of thing, because that comes back, of the things that come back that I was like, why are we revisiting this me personally, like her trauma over her dad dying and that kind of thing, and then like her attraction to the shard and that sort of thing. Like she had an arc like by herself. And I'm saying, but you don't know she's going to be in the future, what she means into the future stories. So was she in the book? Did anybody know it was Lily in the?
No, she wasn't. And I think that was done on purpose with Andy, right? I mean, when Andy wrote this, because essentially, if he creates these other kids, you can't just be like, okay, this person's safe. Which is why we never knew who Marge was. You know what I mean? We don't know who Marge, like, you know, or who she was or whatever. And literally, the only kid we did know is Will. You know what I mean? And we only know Will because Mike brought up his father's name.
His dad's name is Will.
And the grandfather, obviously. Yeah. You know what I mean? That was it. So I think that was so good about this prequel, is that you can create these other kids where the stakes are very high. You don't know who's going to live, who's going to die. A lot of people theorized that Lily was going to grow up to be Beverly Marsh's mother, and then that proved to be wrong. You know what I mean? She had nothing to do with it, which kind of gives Andy the license to be able to just create his own thing. And I think that is also why he was able to be more maybe graphic with this compared to the movies, because the movies, I felt like for the most part, he tried to be faithful to the books. I mean, obviously he added some stuff like the whole thing with the bleachers, and then the whole thing with the mirror house that Bill was trying to save that kid from. That stuff that was like all Andy kind of adding. He wanted more kids to die, essentially, in the movie. So he added some more stuff. But then in the books, you're just told about like, oh, so and so they brought in so and so underneath the sewers, and now she is screaming from the pipes. You know what I mean? But you're only told about it after these kids are dead. You know what I mean? Which I think he was trying to just maybe play it safe for the books as well as Hollywood. Let's be real. You know what I mean? He's like, hey, look, I'm doing a rated R movie, but basically whoever owns it, I don't know if that was Miramax or whoever the hell it was, they want to make sure that it was a movie theater friendly. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, HBO, and like, you know what I mean, you can do whatever. You know, I mean, he probably looked at shows like Last of Us and some other shows where like
Game of Thrones,
anybody can get it. Anybody can get it. You know what I mean? So
I think the miniseries had a lot to do with it too, because it was like, it's not just like we're going from the book to making the movie. It's we have to be faithful to this miniseries that people have loved and have like a cult following towards it or whatever. So they were stuck in between following the book and the miniseries when they did the movies.
Because I felt chapter 2 was definitely more like the miniseries, like in particular, like when I saw that. But we got another question: who would win between Vecna or Pennywise?
Ooh,
that's a hard to like. I think Pennywise is closer to Freddy Krueger than Vecna, because
I feel like it's the other way, actually. I feel like Vecna works more on the mind, as Pennywise don't give a damn, but he's on a cycle. So you got to keep that in mind. Like, he's on a 27-year cycle, and his hunting season maybe a month or some shit. Like, it's like Vecna,
no, it's like a year. His is almost a year, man. Like,
so like,
but
it's still a cycle. Like, it's a time frame. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you can survive, and every time they beat him, he's always at the end of his cycle. Like, so Vecna is always, and Freddy, even so, it's like I feel like it's a little bit different. And Vecna, neither one of them lives.
Vecna has Demogorgons. I have to, like, when I think of Stranger Things, I'm like, what did Vecna do and what did his Demogorgons do? As opposed
that's
to
a good point.
It's just Pennywise.
That's true. He stands alone, if you
will.
But
can Vecna like affect outside of Hawthorne? You know what I mean? He hasn't. You know what I mean? And I guess you could say same thing with Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger hasn't gone outside of Elm Street. You know what I mean?
Also, these are very good points. But also, then you gotta say same thing with it, as we've established in this movie. You know what I'm saying? Like he's stuck in Derry, so he also can't leave, and he has a time cycle. But hands to hands, we're gonna say Pennywise, because Pennywise kills himself. Like, he don't have creatures and shit. Like, he handles that stuff himself. Like, and I respect that. You know what I'm saying? But like Vecna, he had little agents and stuff. So that's all. Also, we haven't seen how the series ends, so we don't know what Vecna can do completely on his own. Like, maybe he has some extra powers as as next movie show up. That's what I'm saying. So Ronnie, I want to talk about Ronnie, because I thought Ronnie was an interesting.
So Veronica was in the book. Ironically enough, she was in the book, and she was one of the people that was in the Pipes. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So Ronnie was in the books?
She was, yes. I mean, but only after she's dead, after Pennywise killed her. You only know about her because there's a missing photo of her in the books. Oh. So she was one of the people when Bill was like listening, it's like, "Hi, my name is Veronica Garson," or whatever it is. Matter of fact, if you watch, was it chapter 1? If you watch the chapter 1 movie, whatever, you can hear say it was Veronica's name. Obviously a different actress or whatnot, I mean, I'm assuming that sounded completely different anyway. But yeah, that character was in there. That character was in there, which is making me theorize about the next season with that.
So Ronnie's a chick. Ingrid. So Ingrid Kirsch being Pennywinkle, I thought was a good introduction, also with the backstory, and also figuring out that that's not Lily. Because at some point I was like, oh, that must be Lily that ultimately goes crazy, and that Beverly meets him in chapter 2 in the house and never sees again. And it's like, no. That's because the picture is the same story. So my other thing is I want to kind of get into the theory that's why I put Arnold Schwarzenegger behind me, because when I found out that now
what came first, did John Connors actually give birth to it? Yeah, no, the whole time I was thinking like, like the whole when he put out that photo of that missing poster of Rich, I'm like, oh, people gonna lose their shit. People gonna be like this Back to the Future / Terminator shit.
Like, I was like, stop it now.
But he has an out. Because it's just everything is a lineal plane. But I was talking to Jamani about this, because I was like, we need to get into that. Like, he needs to commit to be like, that's what he is. He's an interdimensional time traveling entity, because he's always saying he's an eater of worlds, right? Like, so he's done this before. Like, he's bounced around. So that this makes what I'm saying is the book can be canon. The 1990s miniseries can be canon. The chapter 1 and chapter 2 can also be canon, because these are just different timelines that he's jumped around and faced these characters in different ways. You think they're gonna do the whole flat like what he did with the Flash, where like Michael Keaton Batman? And
when you said that, I was like, I think he was like, I can do it, but do it better.
Because I swear to God, Tim Curry does a cameo next season, I'm gonna lose my shit.
You out. but no, hold up. No, seriously though, because like you said, once he pulled out the poster, I was about to throw the TV, because I'm like, you are going too far now, because now you want me to believe that you told Marge you're gonna have a son. Stop. That means we beat you, or at least I live. Number 2, I stay in Derry and I have a kid. Number 3, this is what my kid looks like, and you're gonna go after him, and I ain't gonna tell him shit. I'm just gonna be like, son, you'll figure it out, or you won't. Because when you see him,
what about is it that people forget? Like, I don't understand. Does he go to sleep and then people just all of a sudden get amnesia or something?
They forget.
For the most part. Yeah.
They forget.
It depends. The ones who are either highly traumatic, or those who take the storm, like what Mike's character did. Mike's character was in with the Native Americans, so he always took that potion, so that's why he always remembered. Meanwhile, everyone forgot. You know what I mean? So and that's the general only remembered. If you remember, the general only remembered because remember he said was it episode 3 that he took a scientific. They gave him like a drug, and that's what made him remember Derry. And then that's why he came back. So
when they leave Derry, they forget.
No. You just forget faster when you leave. But then what happens is after the cycle, after 15, 20, after several years, you just forget. Which is why the whole thing that happened with Bradley Gang or whatnot, you just not like people weren't even tripping about the horrible stuff. They're like, oh, this is a great place. They're like, No, it's not. Do you remember what just happened 27 years ago? No, they don't. Like literally 108 kids died. You know what I mean? But no one's talking about it, right? Even what we saw in first chapter 1, when what's the big kid's name who was reading in that library?
Ben.
He said
Ben.
Ben literally was like, yo, all these kids died, like, and no one in the town is talking about it. It's because it just like Pennywise does two things. He makes people forget, and he also kind of makes it seem like stuff is just not a big deal. You know,
I'm like, think about what he did to that school at the end of episode 8.
Yeah,
that's something that people would remember, unless you have some sort of amnesia or Men in Black or something.
Or you got Pennywise.
Yeah, Pennywise makes them forget.
Yeah,
That's the whole part of Welcome to Derry. They don't remember that all these kids were slaughtered or whatever. And then also too, that mist that comes or whatever, that's part of it too. They don't remember. Now, if you leave Derry, like what Chris said, a couple of years, you forget what happened in Derry. That's what, just like when the sergeant or captain or whatever he was, he left Derry. When he like Chris said, he took that medicine or whatever it was. He started to remember, and then when he went to go see the little girl who was a woman now, when he went to go see her, he was like, "I remember you now." He didn't remember her at first.
Yeah. At Derry, if you stay at Derry, you forget all the horrible atrocities that Pennywise does.
Yeah.
Now, when you leave Derry, you just forget Derry. Period. Which is why you see even chapter 1, everyone who's getting that phone call from Mike, they see Derry, Maine, and then the dude almost crashes his car. He's like, holy shit, you said Derry, and then now I forgot. Literally, you hear the dude who played Professor X, James McAvoy said up until now I forgot all about Derry. Period. When you leave, you forget about the city itself. After a long period of time, you just forget. You know what I mean?
Isn't that why one of them committed suicide? He got in the bathtub.
Yeah, he remembers.
Stanley Uric. Yeah.
I can't do it. Yeah. I feel like we're doing too much plot convenience, because in this
Stephen King wrote.
No, it's actually in the book.
Stephen King wrote this.
When they leave, they forget the Native Americans in this version.
No, when they leave, they forget the city. If you stay, you just forget about you remember Derry, except for the atrocities that he's done.
They did not forget. Every year they're like, we have 27 years into the next feeding cycle. They do not forget. That woman did not forget. She was like, this is going to happen again, just like it happened before.
No, those are the Native Americans, not the rest of the town.
So I'm sorry, white people just forget.
Yes.
Stop it. That needs to be specified.
Americans have like different little potions and things that they take, and they do. I mean, if you got David, you have to research more. Yeah.
No, they have to. We 8 hours. I need to hear it. I need you to tell me that not only do you forget. I mean, it's a mystical show. I will be okay with it, but you need to explain this, because if Marge in particular showed her the poster, which again, if the movies are supposed to be legitimate and all supposed to be the same timeline, I'm like, this doesn't make damn sense. Like, by the time that movie comes around, Richie and Mike should know each other, because their parents know each other, because they survived Pennywise like 27 years ago. And like, if they stayed in the town that long, they should know something. That doesn't make, again, you could, if they put in the thing, I'm okay with the fact we're gonna stay. So hold up. So then Charlotte says, we are staying because we got to make sure that this doesn't happen again. Mm-hmm. But they're just gonna forget. So what's the point of them staying then? If
all
that's
right, but wait, to answer your first question about Mike, right? Not Mike, but Will, right? Will burns up and he's not even in the movies. So
hold up.
That's his son is Will. I mean,
hold up. Leave comments. So I'm saying at this time, Leroy and Will are alive. Mike will come later, obviously. That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying Charlotte, Leroy, and Will. Charlotte says we're staying, despite the fact that she told her husband several times he was damn near Uncle Tom for one to stay. But she's like, no. Now we survived Pennywise. We are staying here, so we make sure this doesn't happen again. No mention of if we stay too much longer, we're gonna forget. So mom knows, dad knows, son knows. Son has a kid, but somehow they all forget. Because by the time chapter 1 starts, if this is all one timeline, Will doesn't know anything. His dad is dead. His grandpa is dead. He doesn't
his
know
grandpa is
anything.
alive. His grandpa's alive.
His grandpa's
So-
alive. Yeah, but
Yeah, and that's why he's homeschooled.
Yeah.
He's homeschooled away from the regular kids.
So why is it if this is that's why I was like, different timelines I'm good with, because if you try to make it the same timeline, it doesn't make sense that Leroy doesn't tell him anything that doesn't make.
He didn't remember though. He doesn't remember.
Again, you are making that stuff that's not in the thing. If people, there's nowhere in this series. If it's in the series, I'm asking you, stay in the city and you forget everything except for the black spot still happening.
They said it 3 times.
They said if you leave. They said if you leave, you forget. They said if you then why are they staying if they're not going to remember? That doesn't make any damn sense. Why are they staying to keep Pennywise if no one's going to remember Pennywise?
I mean, they're ignorant. I don't know. I don't know David. Damn. You know, I don't know why they would do that. I mean, why do people still drive with their seatbelts unbuckled?
Chris,
you know what I mean? To get
let's not do
surprised.
this.
Like,
Look, I'm going with the fact that Pennywise exists in this world. I'm going with the fact that he's a time traveler now. I'm saying if Charlotte says I'm staying, so we doesn't happen again. No one mentions to her, not even the Native American who's selling her the sheep farm. That
I guess to your point, then what's the whole point of the natives even having a congregation then if they don't do shit every 27 years and they just sit on their asses complain about, well, how many kids died? If you want to go there, then you might as well just
I do want to go there.
Okay, all right, so let me explain this. There's no stopping Pennywise, right? So it's gonna happen every 27 years. Leroy and Charlotte, they're there with taking over the place of the Native Americans. Their purpose is for the pillars. Make sure the pillars stay in place so that he stays caged. But 27 years later, it's going to happen again. I'm going to homeschool my kid so he's on the outskirts of town. Hopefully it don't get him, and that's it.
Okay, so now he does remember, but now he's only put, even though he was told he was going to burn up. But anyway, he remembered. So
he didn't burn up. His son burnt up.
So I'm saying I can't. But he knew this was going to happen, and even so, but he forgot that though. He forgot. So Marge forgot about Richie, right? And then Will forgot about himself, right? And then but Grandpa remembers enough to be like, we got to keep the pillars here. Which pillars, by the way, the pillars are never mentioned again. Not in chapter 1 or chapter 2.
No, he didn't say that. The native said that. Say, how about you stay in order to do that? And then they declined her. They declined her offer. And then they said, you know what? I can get used to this town. Never did they say once they turned that car around, you know what? Let's help them. They never said, they said, you know what? We can work on the farm. You know what I mean? So you're just assuming, just like you're talking about, we're assuming, you're just assuming that they just actually said yes to her, you know, when they never did. They never said that to her.
They are going to end up on the sheep farm, so they did say yes. So
she gave the sheep farm to them because remember that farm reminded her too much of her nephew that just got shot. So she just gave it up to them. She just said, you know what, you guys have it.
She said they could stay. They had the conversation. They were like, we can stay.
Yeah, you can stay, but it wasn't like a stipulation saying you can stay only if you become part of our congregation.
So they stayed and just forgot. So you're saying this is all the same timeline. That everybody just magically forgot selective parts is what happened. Like this cannot be the same timeline. This cannot be the same timeline. Like it's like it too many things like just don't. The black spot changed, for example. Like what happened? What people wrote down, whether they remember what actually happened or not, it changed. In chapter 1, the black spot was a thing in town. Connected to the sewer lines. Because at the time, the story was,
no, they made that up. They made that up, just like they made up the whole thing. No. It was a lot, and even Stephen King even wrote that in a book that the townspeople, because they were racist assholes, that they wrote that he wrote that they tried to rewrite history by basically saying that the Black Spot nightclub was basically destroyed because of pipelines. But then the actual truth was literally these racist assholes called the Pride of Derry or something like that, whatever they call themselves. They actually burned that shit down. You know what I mean? That was the truth. And that was in the novel. Both versions happened in the novel in the sense of the racist assholes burnt it down, but then they lied. The townspeople lied and basically just rewrote in their books, in the libraries, basically saying this is actually how it was done. Literally what the Daughters of the Confederacy has done as far as talking about slavery. You know what I'm saying? No, they're not slaves. No, they wanted to be, almost fields. No, that's literally what they did. Just like in chapter 1, they lied and basically said that Will's parents were crack addicts and basically burnt down their own house when that wasn't the truth. Remember he found out the truth of that? Do you not remember that?
I do, but again,
okay. So you acknowledge that they purposely changed and rewriting stuff when it came to black people, which was also in Stephen King's book.
Go back and watch chapter 1. And when Ben was telling the story, he said this got burned down by a racist mob. He said that. It's in the book. So in that movie, they do acknowledge the racist mob to burn down the place. All right.
Then what are you talking about with this whole pipe thing? What are you saying about pipes?
In the movie, go back and watch chapter 1. He put a map over it. He said they were trying to connect the sewer lines because Georgie and Bill was looking for Pennywise and sewer lines. And you're saying basically that's how he was getting around. And they put the black spot, the location in the movie, though, was in the city. They took a picture of it. Ben was explaining to everybody. And it showed it in the city because it was connected to the sewer lines. And he explained very quickly, though, that it was burned down by a racist mob.
Okay.
So in the movie, by the future. So I'm
let
like,
me pose this to you, right?
Yeah.
There's 27 years that have passed. Could that military base have shut down and the city have expanded or something within that amount of time?
Or they just rewrote the story because it's better this way. It's a great story. They were not making an effort to tie it to the first movie. It's a great story. I'm saying, but if you look at what you already put out there, it doesn't connect. But again, if this is a different timeline or a different universe, it doesn't have to connect.
The end kind of shows that it did connect. I mean, especially what we saw at the post credit. It's not really post credit, but
And so again, she just forgot. They show us the scene that she's clearly going to figure it out because when Beverly sees this woman in her dad's house in chapter 2, she has no damn clue who this woman is. There's no reference. There's no mention. Even the pictures are different because it's a different actor. Because Bill Skarsgård didn't take those photos back then. They were trying their best to connect.
No, you mean just because they recasted someone like what they do for a lot of
movies? They
so
brought that guy back. They put Bill in the scene so you could see the physical connection between Pennywise and the monster. I understood why they did it, but I'm saying if in the photos, originally it wasn't him that did those photos. But it doesn't matter. She didn't recognize the person because that wasn't the storyline then. When they do a prequel, just like when anything, they're trying to connect stuff. And I'm like, but
so when you're 12 years old and someone comes into your room and says one or two lines when you're 12, 27 years later, you're going, yes. 27 years later, you're going to just remember who that person is.
You're just going to forget that your mother got hung? That's what you're going to say? So
I'm going to remember my mother got hung, but I'm not going to remember every single thing that people have said all around me.
One person comes into the room and says something that people never died. That's going to stick.
I think I'll be more fucked up about my father basically just kind of giving me the cold shoulder and basically pushing me off than anyone else in the room. What are you talking about?
They're trying. They just gave a backstory and they're trying their best to connect it, and it doesn't fit. And it's fine. It's a great story, but it doesn't fit with the other story.
Say both things? How can you say it doesn't fit, but it's fine?
Okay.
You can't say both. You can't say it doesn't fit, but it's fine.
It's still a good story. It doesn't change the fact that it's a good story.
You need to listen to the actual podcast and listen to the writer and the director and listen to each one of the episodes. Right after the episode, they have this podcast. He talks. Actually, I'm sorry. They have like an extras. They talk to the writers and they talk to whoever directed that episode, and you get to understand what differences are with the movie and what's in the series. They talk about all of that. And then in the podcast, which is on HBO, you can just listen to it. They do the same thing. They always talk to the director and the writers, and they tell you these things. They give you answers to what you're asking, David. They tell you, this is what we did. We changed this. We know that this could have continued, but we didn't do it this way. We did it that way. All of those things.
Again, one more. I'm not saying that this stuff is wrong. I'm not saying it was a bad story. I'm saying if he's now a time traveler, you can connect it that way. This could have been his first time trying to go back and change the stuff. Like, and then he's gonna do it again, and then he's gonna do it again, and then it connects, and then it's fine. That's all I'm saying. Like they gave themselves an opening. As again, I didn't know the guy wrote the Flash. I didn't like that's great. So like he could do that. He could be like, this is my first time, and I'm gonna go back. So you don't have, and that makes he could go to a future where they do remember. They could. He could be like, or the next movie could be like, now I got to go back and face Leroy and Will somehow live and Mike, and I got to deal with this whole thing that I didn't have to deal with before because I thought I fixed it and I didn't. Now I'm worse. They could do that. That's all I'm saying.
That's a theory I'm thinking, especially seeing how Veronica was actually dead in the books. I feel like he's going to go in the past and make it where kind of screw some things up. There's already rumors of like, I guess the kid who plays Stanley in the original one. They're talking about like he met with some people. You know how people say, oh, he met with the producer or whatnot. So you know what I mean. And now what could happen is they could do that mid-age thing where it's like now that they're kind of aged to the point where they're at the middle of that 27, so therefore it could be like 13 years or something that they can bring out basically pretty much the whole cast, the young cast, and kind of come back or whatnot. So we could possibly see that. You know what I mean? Especially if Pennywise is going to try to essentially go in one of these universe, go to like some timeline in order to essentially try to prevent his death. You know what I mean? So, which he's desperately trying to get out of this vicious cycle, so.
And again, that would open them up, and then it would let this stuff go. Like there's a version where the Black Spot was an awesome episode. Like it was absolutely incredible. Like I said, the cinematography and the way it was shot. Like I felt like I was watching Sinners. I'm pretty sure that was not a coincidence. That I felt like they were.
I thought people said Sinners. I thought Lovecraft Country myself, but but
it wasn't the bar. I think the problem was the bar. I think that was very specific to Sinners and that kind of setup. And then unless there was a similar scene in Lovecraft Country.
The first episode, remember those racist cops kind of came up to them or whatever, and then that's when they first revealed that there was monsters, and they were like, "Oh, you're going to run to the car," and then Smollett was like, said, "Oh, I'm really fast. It's like I'm a track runner," and she had to run to, you know what I mean? So you had that, and then the whole Tulsa thing, even though that Tulsa massacre thing wasn't necessarily a bar, but. You know what I mean? Yeah. The fire and stuff, but
I'll say okay. So like Lovecraft Country, it's still HBO. Yeah. But I was like, I really loved how it was shot and how that kept on going around. I thought that was well done.
Yeah.
I
just thought about something. Sorry. No, I was saying for HBO, I thought they were going to go a little bit graphic with the whole thing with the grandfather, with Dick Harlan's grandfather, whatever, because. Because in the books he was like, well, yeah. I mean, it's kind of clear from the show that his grandfather basically molested him, but in some of Dick's visions, whatever, basically the apparition comes up to him completely naked, and as a ghost molest him, even as a ghost. You know what I mean? Same time, because I remember seeing the scene where they showed the grandfather. I'm like, and I saw the belt, and I'm like. They ain't gonna go that far, are they? And luckily they didn't, because I don't want to see no grown man get.
I ain't trying to. Hey, Game of Thrones, buddy. This ain't the first time. This ain't the first. But sure,
I actually did. After we talked, I did find out about that scene from the movies or the book with Beverly, and that everybody keeps calling it an orgy, but I'm like, it's only one girl. And I'm like, they just ran a train on Beverly.
Yeah, but that's not gonna be on camera. But I'm
like, they could have alluded to it. That's what I think they missed the point, because it makes the father seem. When I was watching it, and the fathers keep saying, "Are you my little girl?" or whatever. He sounds real pervy, but he sounds less pervy.
That's different, Jamani. You could do that, because here's the deal: we all find pedophiles and whatnot like disgusting and pitiful and whatnot like that. But the whole thing, but a little girl be willing to just having a bunch of dudes just do her, whatever, an underage girl. Yeah, we ain't doing that.
We don't want that. We don't want
that. But I'm saying it makes I'm saying just from the the character of the father, right? It changes the way you view his character
No,
because
it
it was
doesn't.
like he was actually right for thinking that she was
come on.
sleeping around.
It does, in no way. Let me help you out. In no way. Okay, because no, it does not save that man because if he was a molester, it was clear to us that he was at some point, and then she ends up with an abusive husband. Like she has a terrible arc. Like I'm like, it does not say that in any way. If she also got whatever with a whole bunch of dudes, she's further fucked up, and that further now you can see how she ends up with that abusive boyfriend or husband, depending which version that you watch. Right. And I'm like, no. Hey, I'm sorry, but anyway, Charlotte. I want to get to Charlotte before because she got on my nerves. Like, often I say, where are the kids in my philosophy? Now I'm asking, where are these damn parents? So like Marge apparently has no fucking parents who don't care about the fact that she's running around in the sewers, who don't care that she poked the eyeball out. I'm like, where are her parents? Like, and then the black spot, like you survived all was being killed. Where the fuck are your parents? Like they weren't even seen. But Charlotte was there. And she chose to save Hank over her fucking son. Like, if she was watching Will in any kind of fucking level, like, he wouldn't have been in half that shit. Like, Charlotte.
That didn't make any sense. When she kind of, like, walked away and was, like, running to get to Hank, and Will was right, I was like, lady, Will, go get Will. Worry about Hank later. Let's go get Will. Like, I didn't get it. I was like, what is she doing?
What are you doing, bitch? Yeah. Like,
are you in love with this man?
Like, are you? Were y'all fucking? Like, let me know. Like, let me know. Like, right, Kim? Like, he should not have been.
Did the same thing too, David.
Thank you.
Leroy walked away too. They were like, "Oh, okay, Will, it's fine," and walked away.
What? He should not have been in the sewers. Period. Period. Like the fact that he was in the sewer and then therefore Leroy had to shoot his best friend to save this little boy.
Yeah.
He would have got his ass whooped when he would have got home. There would have been no apologizing. I would have whooped that kid's ass. And then I would have been thinking about Charlotte and been like, I said I wouldn't hit you. And I meant that. But
now,
this is your fault.
Whole slap, when Leroy slapped him, I'm sorry, y'all. He deserved a slap. Y'all don't know who the hell you talking to. Like, I don't know. Maybe I seem to be like this mom that didn't take any nonsense. I had to raise two men. I wish they would have came out their mouth like that at me. I would have slapped the crap out of them.
That was a good slap, but the slap towards Bob Gray / Pennywise was probably even better.
Yeah, that shit.
I'm the eater of worlds. Like, he's like, shut the bitch ass up.
I mean, that shit was hilarious. That shit, but no, bro, like I felt like even the black spot was Charlotte's fault at some level because she is the one that brought Hank there. That is her idea. One, where the fuck are your kids? Right? Then that's how Will ended up there because she was like, because he was following Ronnie because he a kid and she cute. Right? Then that's how everybody else ended up there. And I'm like, where the fuck is your mama? Like, where are your parents? And I'm like, they could have died because of you.
Where was Rich's parents? We were all the parents. They would know. It's like in Derry, kids kind of just run themselves, right? Yeah. But you have to think about what time it was, right? In like the 1960s, and I know you guys, I was born like the end of the 60s, but anyway. There was a time when parents kind of were like, go outside. Don't care when you come back. Just, try to make it back before the lights come on. If you don't, I'm going to probably think you're over at Bob's house with his son. You know what I'm saying? Like parents were kind of, they just didn't have any kind of paranoia that something's going to happen to your kid. Do you know what I mean? Like these kids were going into caves in the middle of the night and doing all types of stuff that I grew up in the 70s and 80s. We couldn't do stuff like that then. They had a commercial saying it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your child is? Yeah. Come on, you couldn't do stuff like that. But in the 60s, I'm saying in the 60s, it was probably believable that this was going on because parents were like drinking brandy back at home because they had a long day at work, and their kids are on bikes going through like what is it? Not a funeral. What is it called? Cemetery.
Yeah.
Doing things. I was like, what in the world?
Kim, I swear to God, I thought Richie was going to be buried and eulogized by those kids. I was like, where the fuck are his parents? I was like, are we at least gonna get him at the funeral? at least at the funeral. And then they showed up. I was like, they're not even gonna talk. They're just gonna sit there. They had like 2 lines. I was like, where Marge's parents still never showed up.
We never saw Marge's. Even at the funeral, I would think Marge's parents would be there with her.
Like
they didn't show the parents.
I was like, this again. Now you have to suspend disbelief when it comes to parenting, because even then they're running around in 1989, no damn parent just getting the wild shit. But I'm like, after the sewers, you would think that Charlotte would have been like, hello mothers, your children were found down here. This is Richie. He almost got shot, and then let's get some parenting going on.
No, you saw her take Ronnie. When she found Will, she took Ronnie and took them both to a bar, which is the black spot.
She did.
Bad parenting. Like,
how about all those parents? How about all the parents where all those underclassmen just went disappearing with Pennywise or whatnot? I ain't see no search parties like we saw in Weapons. You know what I mean? Like, where was Josh Brolin? Where was Josh Brolin getting his coalition?
Chris,
you know, what I mean?
He was on the Knives Out.
It's funny you should bring that up, Chris, because I was thinking the same thing, and I thought they were trying to say that the mist, to your point of everybody being subdued, like he put the town to sleep so he could take the kids. That's the only thing
that's what it is. Right. That's what the mist was.
Yeah, I was just being funny. Yeah.
No, but Giovanni brought it up too. Yeah. Those kids are suspended over fucking solid ice.
Yes.
When they hit that ground, no memory is going to wipe out the fact.
Look, I'm sorry. I thought broken bones. I thought was going to happen. Like, I don't know. Do you see Black Phone 2? You watch it? No. Oh, you know, okay. Black Phone 2 had like kind of a similar scene over, with Ethan Hawke, like over ice or whatnot. And now I'm like, and some people got fucked up like hitting that ice, and I'm thinking like those kids are like they could barely even get Will down. I mean, Will down.
Okay, guys, this is a supernatural horror.
I know. They got she got supernatural bones too. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm like, hey, Marge really lost an eye. She wasn't like, oh, this is fine. I can put some makeup on that shit. Like, I'm like, those kids memory. Beside those memories bones are fucked up. I'm not but I was truly hoping that the patty cakes were killed like horribly. Like I was kind of hoping
horrible bullies.
Kids.
Just the lead one, then just gnaw on her a little bit and be like, hey, I did this for you, Marge. And I'm saying
maybe her parents will get it in this prequel. Who knows? 1935.
So that question, this whole Terminator idea that he's going to go back and try to stop the ancestors of the people who beat him, right? I'm like, the only person that you can really at this point that we know you can go after is Marge's people, because we, like I said, we don't know, none of the other kids in the main movie were identified really, except for like Richie's parents and Mike's people. So like Ben,
he can go out after Veronica's father, right? Like granted, Veronica wasn't part of the or kids wasn't part of but if you get rid of Veronica or you even get rid of Lily, those two helped Marge to be able to do that, or else Marge would have been killed. Hell, maybe the next one we even get Dick. Maybe he goes after a younger Dick Harlan, because if it wasn't for Dick, like bro, like that's a weird sentence to say. If it wasn't for Dick,
I get you. You gotta say the whole name. You gotta say the whole name. You can't.
If it wasn't for Hart, So matter of fact, I hope they bring that actor back. That would be dope. To me, he was probably the best part of other than Sarsgaard or whatever, he was probably the best part for me as far as Welcome to Derry. You know what I mean?
He
was amazing. So I'll be all right if they brought him back in some sort of fashion, So
besides Charlotte being
they
the
tried
villain,
to put that Easter egg about the hotel in there. I thought that was great.
Yeah, a hotel. So he went to London. So eventually he'll end up in Colorado. So he's just gonna work it from hotel to hotel, I guess, is what his plan is. But that means I was gonna say Hank was completely useless and really a liability just in every way.
He really was.
I hear crying upstairs. I might have to go soon.
No problem, man. I'm sorry. So any final words, Chris, before you have to go be a daddy ×2?
Okay, all right. Let me make a quick predictions about the next 2 seasons. I think it was the next thing we were talking about. Okay, so next season, obviously, we're gonna get the Bradley Gang of 1935. I feel like that will also be the season that we'll get the history of like Neibolt house being built, whatnot, which will
because that was the
title. Yeah, and then the title credits that we saw. Yeah, obviously we saw Pennywise with the gun or whatever, but then we also saw the kid looking mysteriously back at this evil house or whatnot. So I'm sure we're going to get a little bit more background as far as the house being built as well. So that's going to be definitely the next season, as well as we want to see a little bit more of Ingrid. You know what I mean? A younger version of her. So I think that would be kind of dope too. So yeah, and then I guess 1908's before that, and obviously there's going to be a lot of stuff in there. Hopefully, there's more Stephen King references in there. That'll be pretty cool. I think. So yeah. So all right, I gotta go. I hear. Oh god,
that's what we do too.
All right. Yeah. All right, y'all hear it? Okay.
Yeah.
Shit. All right. Till then, y'all don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see y'all soon.
Next year, bro. Next year, 2026.
Next year, really? Oh, well, yeah. Next year, technically, yes. Okay, you're right. All right, bye. All right.
Later, man. I was like, he's gotta go be daddy. All right, so I thought, let's see, let me get this right. All right, so Hank not doing anything as Ronnie was about to be attacked by Pennywise. I was like, he ain't shit. Like, he's not shooting, he's just screaming, like he ain't helping. I'm like, no, nobody. Like, he could have died and it would have been all right. Ronnie could have got adopted by somebody else. It would have worked out for her better, I thought. And then I was thinking that Ronnie goes to Canada, right? So she could, in theory, if we did like a future movie, changing the future based on what happened now, Ronnie could come back and work with Will again, like as like many adults, you know what I'm saying? Like, to be like, they're trying to save Mike and stuff. Like, it would have been nice to see, like, what does she look like when she gets older, right? Because like, do you think that's actually Mike's mom? What do you think? Kim.
Do I think who's Mike's mom?
Ronnie. Yeah. I don't think so, but they were like,
she could.
I mean, could.
Yeah. She could be. I mean, it's possible. Yeah. I mean, just like Richie's mom is Marge.
Yeah, but I mean, but she
named him. But that also goes to the theory of, if she doesn't remember anything, but how does she remember Rich?
I'm saying.
And she wanted to dedicate. But that's us thinking that she did that. Like it. But actually, I believe the director did say that was a tribute to
Richie.
So how does she remember that?
That's what Marge
but I think Marge actually left. But if she left, she forgot, right?
Nobody. No. Only Ronnie and Dad left. Everybody else stayed. They lived there. I mean, for one. So
okay.
Yeah. So that's what I'm like. That's why I'm like, they gotta remember. But anyway, just to say, I saw some video there saying maybe Ronnie is Mike's mother, but I was like, no, I mean, she went to Canada, she got started to like, I mean, she's a kid, you know, she's gonna grow up and meet other people. But they could do, if the cast was solid enough, again, they could do a future version, much like Chapter 1, Chapter 2. They, you know, bring them like many adults back, and then they could do something. I like to see them growing up and working together. You know, I would say would be nice. The Dr. Sleep. I watched. What's the black girl's name
in Dr. Sleep?
Yeah,
I don't remember. I haven't seen that. Dr. Sleep.
She was good. I was saying, for her to have the shine and see how like Dick Halloran's like training of the young man like led to that. I would love to see her if she that's not gonna happen, but to see her character kind of come to Derry, since it was Dick that kind of helped them beat Pennywise this time, you know, kind of thing. To see what she could do, because people say, well, what would happen if those two fought each other? Because Dick had Pennywise pretty wrapped up pretty well until the authorities came. What do you think about the general being eaten, Jamani?
I thought that was cool. I'm like, you say that Dick had Pennywise. He was in Pennywise's head, and Pennywise realized that it wasn't real. He was like, I'm not him. So I don't think whatever you're doing or whatever to me is not working, because I'm not really Pennywise. I'm it. So,
but it was good though. It still was good. Like, the cinematography with that was good, and I do like Skarsgård's
Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah, Bill. The way his face changed when he realized what was going on, he was like, like, stop calling me that. That's not my name. And I was like, oh my God. It was funny, but it was also like weird. It was so many different emotions that I went through. But when he saw that it was Bill and he ripped the face off, I was like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? Like I was really, really nervous.
If you didn't know Dick was gonna make it to other movies, you'd be like, oh, he's done.
Yeah, he's gone
right now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well, I believe, if I remember correctly, the reason why I started to fail was because General Shaw and them came. Like
Yes.
they were messing with Dick in real life.
They were waking up Bill. They kept waking him up.
Yeah. So like he wasn't like he was being distracted by the real world, and that's
Dick,
why he was.
Dick. I'm sorry, not Bill. Dick. Yeah.
Dick. So that's what it was. It wasn't he wasn't strong enough to keep him there. Is that they attacked him at that point, and he was like waking up. So I'm saying once they got my I say that to say once they took control of the major, the colonel, because I think the general was already dead by then. What Dick didn't try to like recapture like Penny to kind of hold them, at least hold them a little bit while the kids were trying to put the thing in the thing. I mean, but they could have explained that a little bit. But I thought if he was like, okay, if I can hold him one more time, or maybe he's changing and now he's too big, now I can't do it. Would have been something to that. I did like the when Pennywinkle reveals herself like when at the black spot, right? And Pennywise was like, oh hey. And maybe it's to the point of the fear thing, right? Like she clearly not only did she not fear Pennywise, she loved him because she thought that was her dad.
Right.
And he was gonna let her slide. Like he's like, I gotta go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? So whatever.
She touched him and she was like you gonna abandon me? And I was like, oh my God, why did you even say something like that to him? And I mean, he didn't kill her. He could have killed her. Yeah. But he chose not to. He chose to just like blind.
Well, but how could he have killed her if she doesn't fear him?
I mean, he could have. True. That's exactly. So he just kind of
hypnotized her. But
hypnotized her, yeah.
But maybe he was like, he loves chewing on kids. I mean, just in general, he does have a thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So maybe he was just like, hey, I can, I can trap her, but she ain't really important enough for me to kill. So like he just let her go off. But he killed the butcher, and Butcher didn't have time to be scared. He just chopped that fucker's head off and was like, hey, this is fun. And then it was just holding it. And I was like, that was the first time he killed somebody that I felt good about.
Yeah, because he was a horrible person.
He was a horrible man. I mean,
oh my God. Yeah, he was horrible. But what was crazy is like when he first met Charlotte in the butcher shop, he was so kind and nice to her. And the only thing that I was like, he's too nice. There's something wrong with him. Because not to say, I mean, it's the 60s, right? So you're not thinking that this white man is going to be so polite and go out of his way to like really talk to her. And then I was like, there's got to be something wrong with him because he was just too nice. And then we find out that he's a douchebag, like he beats his wife, and which is that's horrible that's the life that she had, and still long for her dad. I felt like her story, Madeline Stowe, I thought did a really good job acting that whole thing.
Yes,
and then the way that the cinematographer, when they kind of meshed her face together with the nurse, like the way that they showed them together. Do you know what I mean? Like the way it was a wonderful transformation. Like it was beautiful the way that they did it. And I'm like, that young lady who played the younger her, she looked just like her. Like, is that your child?
The casting was great. Like for that, we often do like the casting, bro. We gotta get the casting together. But that shit was solid. I mean, that shit was really solid. I love, and again, I love the expansion of the Native American piece. So they made it like very important, you know what I'm saying? And I hope they continue that, like they're like the foundation of trying to keep the town, safe. And I thought it was a great story. I don't know, as Chris was talking about the turtle, I'm interested to see if the turtle ever gets introduced in a live action serious way. But again, with the fourth version of this thing, they mentioned a turtle, but not to that extent. And I don't know how that would look. Like if they're gonna make it like a person, like almost like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, you know what I'm saying? Or they're gonna put like a legit turtle.
Yeah, but we did see all the Easter eggs of turtles. Like the turtles were everywhere in the show.
Yeah, I love
even the shell that they keep the pieces to keep Pennywise, bonded to Derry.
One of them was in turtle.
It's a turtle shell. Well, all of them in turtle shells. All of them are in turtle shells.
Oh,
Yeah, they're buried under the ground in turtle shells. Yeah.
oh, I didn't know all of them that way. I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
A lot of turtles lost their lives. For
Giant
that.
turtle. Woo! Them jokers was huge.
I was
Yeah.
like, dude, and then like the fact that those things could be destroyed, I was like, again, a great story piece that they want to continue this. Like, again, developing. We develop land. It's insane that no one has developed the land of Derry to the point that they're like, we got to rip this stuff up, and then all of a sudden, you know, some of the shards get mixed up. Like in real life, that probably, dare I say, real life, that would have happened. Giovanni,
I'm
anything
like,
else?
yeah, I'm like, they melted it down for what? They didn't even find what the chemical components of it was or any. It's just like we just fucking shit up just for the sake of fucking shit up.
No. They just wanted to let him out. It wasn't about studying it. It wasn't about studying it. The goal was to get rid of it. So Penny could just leave. So they didn't care
because
about
because the captain thought that Pennywise could like change the world, like he could change the attitude of people and use him like a weapon, like a weapon of fear.
Yeah, but I'm like, he's not. That's not like a. That's like in the sense of like a nuclear bomb being a weapon. It's like, yes, it will. It's not just going to kill your enemy. It's going to kill everybody.
It's going to kill exactly. But I don't think the captain even saw it that way. Because when he said to him, "You can go, you can leave," I was like, "Dude, this is not like a pet horse or something. This thing is going to kill you." And when he smelled him, he smelled the fear from when he was a child.
Yeah.
I was like, "You're dead. You are dead." Even though in that moment, for 10 seconds, he was scared. And then he stopped, the captain. He stopped and he was like, "Nope, don't show fear." But it's like Penny already feels the fear. Like you can act like you're not in fear. But then he really went back in his Rolodex, like, "I smell your fear." And I was like, "You're dead, dude." Gotcha. Like, yeah.
Well, Jemani, it's funny that you bring up nuclear weapons, actually, because that was my other, and I don't know if they talked about this in the podcast and if they noticed the different, like, but the time he said, "I'm trying. If Americans are scared of a common enemy, then they will come together. They won't fight each other," type of thing. But at the time in the show, they were all scared about nuclear weapons from Russia. Like they were commonly scared.
But that's what he originally told to Leroy was, "We're going to use this against the Russians." Right. Instead of, we're going to use this to make every town like Derry, you know, everybody's calm and peaceful after a race riot or whatever. I'm like,
well, so again, I take a step back and I would submit that you could also see it as, rightfully so, 3 kids were murdered. No suspects. The one suspect that you have owns the place. One suspect does not have an alibi, and he got arrested for it, right? They tried to arrest him, and the cop said, "I can't even give him a speeding ticket." He lost his job over it. So ultimately, there's a race involved. So I said, but ultimately they were trying to find the man to kill these kids. There was a reason. And when these men were like, it's gonna be us or you, they're like, well, it's gonna be y'all, and he killed them. Ultimately to get to Hank. If Hank would have been found and arrested and off the Shawshank, the black spot would have been fine. And it would have kept on going.
I'm like, what do you call it? If the guy had actually got that shot off before he got in the bus, there could have been a race riot after his death as well.
If again, and to Charlotte's point of the civil rights movement going on at that time, it depends on how you tell the story. Truly, if it's again a suspected child killer is killed by the father of one of the children, that's a different story.
But there was also no proof at all that Hank actually killed those kids. There was nothing to prove that he did it. And
I'm like, all you needed was for well, she's the one who setting them up. You know, that he was with Pennywise.
Yeah. Sorry, Ingrid.
She set the whole thing up. So no, wasn't.
But I'm saying to the issue, I guess. Well, my issue of the kids dying for nothing if we're just trying to get to the black spot being attacked by race for race reasons, right? Like that's the ultimate. That's what we're trying to get to, right? Which, all right, it simply could have been Butcher finds out wife is fucking the theater guy, right? And it's like, you ain't fucking my white wife, you black, and then go looking for him. Charlotte finds him. You shouldn't have to die for falling in love. Da 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 da. And we have the black spot as is. And now we have like
that makes more sense. But we got to get Ronnie involved in all of it. Like the Ronnie and Lily thing was a big part of the series. Was you need to tell them that my daddy wasn't there and you saw it. And blah 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 blah.
But once Maddie shows up, really, and it's like, hey y'all, I got something to show you, and Pennywise shows his face, all that's out the window. Now it's about the shard, it is about stopping this creature from killing us, and the whole alibi thing goes away, really. So we still could have got there, you know what I'm saying? That kind of thing I would submit. But it would have made it cleaner. It would have made it cleaner of what we're trying to. Also, to the point of suspects, the white dude that worked at the theater was never investigated.
No, he wasn't.
Just for the record, I don't know who that dude was. He just disappeared. He just stopped coming to work. But I thought
the usher, right? The usher that was trying to throw Maddie out, right?
Yeah. I was like. And then I was like, well, who owns this place? Oh, the black dude owns this place. I was like, oh, Hank owns this place. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And I don't know if he owns it or just ran it. I mean, maybe I don't know. I think
he ran it. I don't think he owned it.
So I just thought, and then I thought it was an interesting story. And then Grandma just really just disappeared. Like I was like, what? Even at the end,
after she gave Charlotte permission to talk to Hank in jail, that was it. You never really saw her again. That was it.
Like, yeah. I had to assume she was in the back of the car. Like they showed like a head with some hair, and I was like, "Oh, that must be Grandma." But she never got a final line or anything. I was like, oh, maybe the actress was just, "What's up?" I don't know why I keep putting this show off. I need to watch it at some point. I heard it is excellent. Yeah. It is, and I don't say that about prequels. Let me tell you, but no, this is really good. And even if you don't know the movies and you just watch it.
You'll still get it.
You'll still be entertained. You'll still be entertained, and want to see more. I would definitely say. I would. Yeah. So you don't have to, and it might make it easier to watch that you don't know because that's why I did. I watched this, then I watched chapter 2, then I watched chapter 1. So I was like, I should just watch this, like, because again, then I start getting to why about this and not that. This ain't connected to that.
Because it was like, because those movies, they have some connections, but not really a lot. It's like he just did his own thing. Him and his sister kind of did their own thing. Which was not bad because I still enjoyed the series very much. So he did do a lot of things, but there were like a lot of Easter eggs, from the movies and TV series and stuff. So he did his best to honor those things, right? And then also he did his best to honor just Stephen King. And he said he had some questions for Stephen King. And he was like, dude, I wrote this thing like 34 years ago. I don't remember. Like and it's an honest thing. This man's like 80-something years old. He doesn't remember like a lot of stuff. He wrote this thing, and he was drunk and high. So he doesn't remember certain things,
you get what you get.
Exactly. And so
my question is, if the movies are disconjoined from the series, will next season and the third season be disconjoined from the first season, or where's the continuity going to kick in?
I think the seasons will be connected because it's the same team and they're creating one story by itself.
But it is the same team from the movies.
But again, it's time. Like George Lucas wrote episodes 1, 2, and 3, but it's like it's still so much. That's a lot of time. You know what I'm saying? But again, when they're trying to create something new, you start adding stuff and it just changes. But these three are going to be stick together. I feel like
all three. The show is going to be stuck together.
It's going to be together. They'll be tied.
That's right. 1935, right, is the next one, and then the next one is 1908.
Yes, so it will tie together. So watch the movies and leave them alone, and then watch the series and leave it alone. And
watch the miniseries. The miniseries, you got to leave that all the way alone.
Just leave that alone.
But like I said, as I suggest, if they try to be like it's a multiverse, then all of it is valid. It's just different ways of telling the same story because he's facing the same.
Well, I mean that's pretty much what a lot of people who are recapping. They're like, this is Stephen King's multiverse. He's been doing multiverses like his entire career, and we just have to look at this as another universe because he was doing it before a lot of people were doing this, right? So we have to look at this series as that. That's what it is. This is and the series that are coming out, different universe. Go with that, and you'll be fine.
Yeah. And then remember, Stephen King is the general basis of it, but he's not writing the shit. You know what I'm saying? So
like I said, he said he doesn't remember.
So he's letting these other people kind of roll with the framework, right? And therefore you can't go back to the book and necessarily and be like, well, what about this? You know, necessarily because he's gonna be like, again, I wrote that by myself, more probably before these people were alive. So now you got to look at what they're doing with my character and where they're taking it. But they're trying to keep it somewhat grounded with things that we know. When they start getting into characters that we know, but now they have to add new characters so they can make new stories, you know. But they did reinforce that their movie is it for it. Like chapter 2 is when he dies, and I do respect. I like that they were like, now Pennywise, like I'm done in the future as I perceive it, so I gotta do something else, right? Like I'm not trying to do it. Like I'm not trying to go past that, so it doesn't take away from the sacrifice of those characters and what they did and what they achieved. You know, and I think that's something, you know, for
like I like when Lily was like when Marge was saying that Pennywise told her, you know, about her future, and Lily was like, that's someone else's problem. That has nothing to do with us now. You know what I mean? Like them sitting up there in their little tree house, basically. That's what I call it.
Yeah.
And they're sitting there.
Wasn't it a lighthouse?
Well,
I'm just like clubhouse, you know, like for kids, you know, whatever. And I was just kind of like this drinking soda. Could you imagine the trauma that these children have been through?
Yeah.
And they can actually sit there and just have a soda.
Yeah.
I would have been, and I would have been drinking like beer. And you know that I know they're too little, but they did have a rum and coke at the.
I'm about to say they're not too little because they got rum and cokes.
But David, in that time, people did that.
They do that now, Kim. There's still people that make bad decisions. There's still adults that make bad decisions.
So horrible to me.
That's like, timeless. That's timeless.
It is. But I remember that happening. Like, you know, your parents have like parties and my aunts and stuff. And then my cousins would be going around drinking like the last bit of whatever is in someone's cup. Yeah. Like their parents are like, clean up the cups. They'd be like, okay. And we're like, you know, they're like 10. Like, what the hell? Yeah, you know, it happened. But the way that was so casual at the end, and I thought giving Marge and Lily the last word was pretty phenomenal. I really wish Ronnie was there because I wanted to hear her too. But I like that Lily, because Lily had been, you know, put to the front, you know, for the most.
I mean, so if they're trying to bring it back to the beginning, right? It kind of started with Lily and her situation, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I thought Ronnie had a good ending because she's the only one smart enough to leave. Like everybody else,
her dad was like, I'm out.
Well, he's a dead man, you know what I'm saying? So but I'm saying like just family wise, they were like, we gotta go. Like, we know this ain't where we need to be. So like, and then to the point of remembering, for Will to be like, I'll write you letters. So you don't forget us, and this will be with you and that kind of stuff. Yeah. Right. And I was like, and again, that kind of relationship, like, again, what does that turn into like later on? You know what I'm saying? Do they reunite in some way? You know what I'm saying? And maybe something else would be nice. I love this cast that I would love to have seen them in some kind of Scooby-Doo type mystery show. Like, I would have watched them. Like, they're recast.
Yeah, that would have been cool. Yeah.
Like just going get into adventures and so I would love the chemistry of the cast was awesome. You know, as children.
Really? The chemistry offset too. Like if you look at the extras and you look at they have like a reel on HBO and on YouTube behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. And these kids are phenomenal with each other. They love each other. I mean, it's like any job, right? You get closer to people and but they're children. So they're even closer, right? And they danced, they had they enjoyed they had like coaches, they had teachers, acting coaches, teachers, things like that. They got close to them. So it was a pretty good, it looked like it was a pretty good set. So they had a good time. Yeah.
All right, Giovanni, we'll wrap this thing up. Any final comments for Derry or It or in general?
Yeah. From what I understand is that I guess his death was his birth, and everything like it moves in a reverse linear thing. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the more than anything the third season than the second season, because that's where he kills everybody in the town.
And I want to know where he came from. I'm hoping that when they do the 1908, which is the third one, I believe, I want to know where he came from. Like what planet? I want to know all of that. You know what I mean? Like I want to know how this started. That's what I want to know. Yeah.
They've done it twice or so far, but like I don't know if they're going celestial. I think it's gonna be like, dare I say, like the Transformers, where like it starts on Earth. Like they generally comes, because that would be a very different show. If he's up there fighting his brother, was it the turtle? So like that'd be a whole different show, and then you can't feel the humanness of it at that point. But to your point,
you can do just same way they did like the flashback in this season of like the early 1900s or whatever. You could just have a flashback of the what do you call it? Interstellar origins, and then just keep it moving.
Because I heard he got cast down to Earth, so like to see that kind of happen. Was Earth the intended target? Did he just have to land on there? You know, like and that all, and like they don't come visit. You know, but again, they have a lot of room. They have a lot of room to work with, and it's very successful. So to see what HBO or whoever owns HBO in a couple of years has the money and vision to put in this thing will be awesome.
Yeah, and I want to see them, because you didn't see Hank actually get to Shawshank. I want to hopefully we get to Shawshank next season, and I get to see Andy Dufresne or something like that.
Someone did the timeline, and it ain't that timeline. So, but that being said,
even the timeline with the merch with merch, the Ingrid, he should be 116 years old.
Yeah, I'm like, that's
it's not. So it's like I said, it's a universe.
Yes.
So it can't possibly, like, everything connects. It's not going to mix together, because she is, like, they literally kept saying she would be 116 years old.
No, so can we say that when he opens up his mouth and he hypnotizes or suspends somebody, he might give them some extra life, or some, he puts some alien dust on them and they can live longer or something.
Maybe
it could be, or again, separate story just kind of comes together, and like he said, it's all mixed up in his head, like and how he perceives time is not how we perceive time. Right. So and they're trying to connect it again. It was good, and we'll see where these. But fuck.
And I'm like, how long has
the Green Mile? That's all I want to say. The Green Mile.
Yeah, Green Mile. Yeah.
I think he also had to shine. Michael Clark Duncan's character.
He did.
And he also had and to see how
he had healing powers. Remember?
Yeah. But he can hear people's thoughts and that kind of stuff. So it's different. How it processes with you, but this thing has been in every one of a lot of Stephen King stuff, not all of them, but a lot of Stephen King stuff.
Yeah.
And it'd be interesting if these characters, somebody can put, they can do anything, put these characters together, just like see them younger or stuff. But Michael Clark Duncan is pretty hard to recast. I mean, that's a pretty big dude.
Yeah, he's a giant.
That's a giant dude. But anyway, guys,
I'm like, what do you call it? How long has Ingrid been feeding kids from Juniper Hills to him in the sewers? Like, that's got to probably be a big thing for season 2, with her doing that in that little black and white flashback or whatever.
Yeah, if they go back to that time. And the movie Carrie. Oh yeah, she had the shine. Carrie had, so like the
psychic ability. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I was like, so he's big on that stuff. And Firestarter, that was made, like she was it was like government experiments, kind of like Stranger Things with that. But anyway, guys, thank you guys very much for hanging out with us. I hope you had a great time. Merry Christmas and happy New Year's, but whatever holiday you do, if you're doing Christmas this week, do that. We hopefully will be recording something next weekend. We will see how that goes, but if not, please leave your comments and stuff, and we will see them when we return. Please check out Welcome to Derry. I say to me, binging is, I thought, it was a great way to do it because it's one solid story, so to kind of see it unfold is kind of cool. But still a worth watch, even if you don't have a lot of Stephen King history and background. It's a great show. And I didn't get scared because I said I don't leave him in Maine, so that's why I told myself I was like, I'm gonna be fine. So don't be scared. Anyway, guys, we'll see you around. What's up?
He said happy Kwanzaa.
And happy Kwanzaa. There you go. And Hanukkah. Let's just keep on doing it. And Hanukkah too. If you do all that, put all that in the comments wherever you worship. All right.
I will say thank you guys very much for hanging out with us. I see people watching, people in the chat.
I enjoyed the view very much. I don't know what the fuck I was watching.
Rewatch this. Rewatch this when we're done. Rewatch this. You'll see what we're talking about. You're gonna be like, oh shit.
Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
You want to go ahead.
Oh shit.
Stacey, do your thing.
Fuck that shit.
But anyway, please like and share and comment on the video and all that kinds of stuff. As they say, we're just gonna end this broadcast and say bye.